The Star.
Yeah, y'all already know. Seven the pan. That dude Biz on the beat. Yeah. We live in entertainment. Sound change. Crown the kings, homie. This is where it get ill. About to have the tip off live as a tip drill. From the court to the diamond, to the track, to the big skin flying round the field. Starting five forever, keeping it real. If it matters in the world of sports, jeans and long sleeves, they taking no shorts. Hot to death, oh yes, these other sports podcasts live as a pros corpse. Biz market wave, the starting five goes off. No matter who you cheer for, emotions out the window, they analyzing with clear thoughts. They take it way deeper than the boys ever. No longer got any use for the four letters. The latest news, score stats and the view from the sideline. Ain't no guideline, it's just the truth. Yeah, no need to dig for a pardon line. It's always in season if people starting five. We going in on three, run the baseline, starting five. Get it, we got what you need. If the sports news you see, we don't waste time. We talking cause we live it. We got what you need. We going in on three, run the baseline, starting five. Get it, we got what you need. And y'all know me, seven sign, I'm the illest cat spit. I got what you need.
Each and every week, we got what you need for you, mother. What up, everybody? It's your boy, the mayor, that DJ named Ace5, your mom's favorite fat guy, all the way from deepest, darkest Africa. It's actually just cloudy today, but we back with the newest episode of the Start at 5. As always, we need y'all to not point in his face, but pointing to the QR code in the top corner. Scan that, get to everything Start 5 podcast related. Thank you, Jamal. Oh, yeah, you go. Now you got it. You'll get it right soon. But yeah, as you see right next to me, before we go around, we got the homie SHAWN McARTHUR in the. I was gonna say in the building, but he outside. We outside. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, what up? Say what's up to everybody. Say hello.
Everybody. My name is SHAWN McARTHUR. I'm a comic book illustrator. And yeah, I'm happy to be here, y'all. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. Now we're going to talk about how we all linked up and all of that. But before we do that, part of the reason why we were able to link up is my brother to the right.
What's up, y'all? What's up, everybody? Everybody listening. What's up, Sean, brother? Good to see you again.
Yep, good to see you too.
Brother, big fan of your work. Everything. Yeah, man. Everything I caught from you that day. My niece took it all. My niece is a graphic artist.
Wait, let me turn this up. Say that again.
So yeah, everything I bought from you that day, my niece took it, and she's a huge comic book fan, and she's a graphic artist and an illustrator herself. So she fell in love with this stuff. So
I'm grateful.
You got another fan, bro. So, but no, pleasure having you aboard, bro.
Thank you.
And we just had another fan show up. A little dragonfly jumped on the top of my computer.
Yep.
But last but not least, the big O in the building. What up?
What's going on, fellas? Everything good. Had a good time. So far I had a good time over this weekend. Besides a little dust up with the with the friendly neighborhood police yesterday, but it's all good.
All right, we here. Tell the story.
Went to a friend's house last night. Well, it wasn't me per se getting into a dust up, but went to a block party last night. They try to shut it down. Dominicans playing baseball try to shut it down or whatever. It was crazy. I mean, of course, people were out there recording and whatever, but no, it's all good. It's all good. We here. Nobody got bracelets put on them.
All right. So the cops were stopping people from playing baseball, right?
No. They were trying to shut down the block party.
Oh.
Yeah, the guys playing baseball, the Dominicans over there playing baseball try to shut it down. Call the fire department on us first, and then call the police on us.
Too many black people?
Apparently.
Shout out to all my Dominican family, but y'all gotta start recognizing y'all black too.
I love y'all, man. I swear I do. I love y'all.
But y'all just as black as us, though.
Big facts.
but somebody who is black as us, but is way better of an artist than us. Sean,
Yo,
what's good?
I'm chilling. You know, had an early morning, had an early start, started drawing, just chilling. About to go and meet up with some family afterwards. This weekend has been smooth, like a little smooth.
Smooth, hey, smooth, and it's a great way to describe your artwork too. Very freaking smooth. Following the brother on TikTok now for a little bit, but we gotta, before we get into the beginnings and the journeys and how your sister tried to play you on TikTok recently, which was hilarious.
God, yeah.
Yo, but we gotta, Jamal, you could kick off how we all first started to link up, and then I'll finish it off with the funnier irony behind all of this shit.
Yeah, so the brothers and I, we was out in Philly for Cigar Week. Shout out to Philly Cigar Week, chilling and doing our thing. And in between one of our stops, we had headed over to the HNIC conference. So we was over there checking out some of the dope black artists and cosplay and gaming and a bunch of stuff, And we was walking around and I was looking at some of the art and whatever. And this brother's here, his art just caught my eye. I passed his table the first time and I came back. I was like, and I just started chopping it up with him, looking at all the stuff. And then he started breaking down his comic book to me and some of the poster art. And I was like, right away, I was like, here you go, take my money. Take my money, man.
Oh, and it's funny because that particular show, I was like, this time around, let me do a new approach. If you buy something, if you buy something from me, I'll throw you a poster. I'm trying to get rid of 2020 and 2021's poster line so I can make a new poster line. And so like when we started talking, I was telling my fiance, who also draws and everything, and she does comic books, murals, so on and so forth. But we'll get into that. I was telling her HNIC Con was the first time ever. My bad. All right, there we go. It was the first time ever that it was a con that people picked up my books and not my fan art.
Nice.
And I mean, they picked up my books in other cons, right? But not intensely as HNIC Con. They were like, yeah, we want that book. And matter of fact, Black Label Comic Con, which happened afterwards, did the same thing. So it's like, oh, you got your own shit. All right, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna buy your work. We love this, but we love your comics. So I appreciate y'all for even stopping at the table. It was a humbling experience.
Word. And then while they did that, like I know I was kind of like floating around everywhere. We was trying to give out cards and stuff like that, and just trying to connect that way. Like shout outs to Colt 45 podcast. I got to finally meet those brothers, even though I don't listen as much as I should. I've known who they were through the brother B Rob, and shout out to B Rob all day. But yeah, and then I just meeting up with other people from, we've had like this long standing like Instagram like group message that Kurt started. Shout outs to Kurt, Teffy, Sassy, the whole crew over there, Jason. And then I got to meet a bunch of people who are a part of that group chat, Concrete Comics and all of that stuff. But Jamal and TJ was just like, yo, we gotta get this kid Sean. We gotta get Sean. Obviously, I know they gave you a card. Find out, quick fast forward, find out that, all right, he starts to follow on TikTok, which I generally run the TikTok and the Instagram. Then he follows on the Instagram. Then it was maybe a couple weeks after he seen a post that I did. It was a wrestling post, but I'm walking by the building right next door to me. And he hits me in the inbox like, yo, you live on Staten Island? I was like, yeah. Well, I'm like in New Brighton to be exact. He's like, yo, I live right on blankety blank. And I was like, motherfucker, you right around little.
Damn, that's crazy.
Again, small world shit. He lives a fucking
smaller.
block away from me. Yep. But we met in damn Philadelphia.
Yep.
A block away from me. And it was just that crazy.
I was looking at the post and I'm like, no. I had to walk outside because you know how like you don't want to be weird and be like, I saw you here.
No,
right?
yeah.
So you don't want to be weird. So I walked outside to make sure, and I'm replaying the video at least like 3 times. I'm looking at my phone. I'm just like, okay, yeah, what is this? Oh yeah, that's the address. I'm gonna hit him up. Like this is crazy. I ran back into the house. So if you did live around there, you didn't see me like looking at the like it's just weirdness.
Yeah, I mean, hey, now we got to pick up on stalker patterns and stalker behaviors, people.
Facts.
This is a lesson for our daughters and shit.
Yep.
But ain't no stalker shit here because it's all love. It's all. I invited him to come. Now, unfortunately, because the family is, on relax mode, he can't go inside. But he's here. He's here now. He come through whenever. You know what I'm saying? He'll find me outside smoking a cigar, chilling all the fucking time. He had to come do as the big black Roman does, and he doesn't normally smoke cigars when he's on camera, but he's chilling with us today.
Yes.
So he's doing what we do. I could go inside. I just started touching the Uncle Nearest,
Okay.
which
Okay.
from Philly.
Okay.
So maybe last week I had it in the back of my car. I never took out till last week. So I'm a lazy Negro, but
that happens sometimes.
No.
I'll be stuck in between shows and I'll just keep my equipment inside the luggage. I'm like, I'm bringing it over there. It's already here. Like, I'm not taking it out. I'm like, why don't you take it out?
Nah, bro. When it comes to electronics, take that shit out.
No, not electronics.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
talking about equipment, like the banners, the markers, whatever. Like
so semi-replaceable stuff. But yeah. But still, if it's of value to you, take that shit out. Take that shit out, man. But we're gonna get back. We're gonna get right to like the beginnings of it all for you, man. Like where did the inspiration and the love for art come from?
Oh, my oldest brother, he's an artist too, or he used to draw a lot. And one day I was looking at him draw, and I was like, I can do that. And he was like, show me. And then ever since then, he's just been teaching me the ropes. Just working on different stuff like Dragon Ball, Mega Man. He's the reason why I am who I am. When it comes to like all the cool hype nerdy shit. So and that's why I call it cool hype nerdy shit. So I was introduced to Dragon Ball at first. No, I was introduced to Akira first.
So he started you from the root, because I would say most of us out here definitely started on Dragon Ball, because that was actually, we're gonna show our age for a minute, because to keep it real, we've had anime on TV, what we now call anime, which we were calling back then Japanimation or Japanese animation. But we had, I mean, if you're way older than me, Astro Boy was kind of on TV out here.
Yeah.
Voltron, technically. You know what I'm saying?
Even before Voltron, brother.
Before that,
go to Battle of the Planets, man.
Yes.
Battle of the Planet.
G-Force.
AKA G-Force, yes.
G-Force, yeah.
Speed Racer, Robotech.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. So we all kind of got. So your brother started you off right.
Yeah.
It's reminiscent of when with me and my sister, like I put her on to Beat Street. I had recorded it on VHS. Then she hit a point where she watched Beat Street literally every day for almost a month or two straight.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much the same thing. Like, so he would have a bunch of comics and everything lying around, and action figures that he collected, models, airplane models that he told me not to touch, but I would. I mean, I'm 6. Like
Exactly.
But yeah, like I remember the first time watching Akira, because that was also the same time that I watched Best of the Best.
I'm not familiar with Best of the
That
Best.
is B movie heaven, bro. That's a martial arts film, bro.
Oh wait. Oh wait.
Eric
With
Roberts.
James Earl Jones.
Huh?
With James Earl Jones.
Oh, I think I remember. Was that the Banana Way? That with that joint with that singing shit in the fight montage?
No, you're thinking of oh god,
Only the
thinking
best.
of,
Was that
Miami
Bloodsport?
Connection.
No, only the best, or only the strongest, or
Only the
something like
best.
that.
Yeah, yeah. Best of the best was like it was another 80s style martial arts B movie where they had to they had to put together a team of American martial artists to go to North Korea to fight the best. And
Yeah.
Eric
Wait,
Roberts was in that joint. Yeah.
is that the movie with they had the whole like colored ninja sections? Or I'm thinking
Nah.
something else again.
Oh no,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
else. But
Yeah,
Let me
I'm
send you the
lost.
link,
I'm
Dan.
lost.
it was a tournament. It was like a
Yeah.
kumite,
Yeah.
and it was against North Korea. And
Yeah, I gotta find
all
this
right,
shit, man. I
so
probably seen it, but I don't remember.
the
You
the
gotta watch
head
it, man.
fighter for North Korea and the head fighter for America, they have bad blood because the brother was killed by the dude from North Korea. And
It's typical plot line. I
yeah,
get it.
Yeah.
Typical plot line.
so they brought all these like other colorful different characters into the team. Like one was like a cowboy. He was dope. He was like the Ken Masters of, and matter of fact, I think he was Ken Master. No, he wasn't Ken Masters in the Street Fighter movie. He wasn't. No.
That was the cowboy dude was Chris Penn. That was Sean
Yeah,
Penn's brother. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah,
Uh,
all right. So he started you off on all the OG
Yeah,
shit.
I wasn't even supposed to watch that. I was like 6.5, and my mom was like, my mom didn't even know I was watching it until she walked into the room, and then there was a certain part where one of the gang members pulled down the shirt, and you see and then my mom was like, "What are you watching?" I'm like,
titties, mom, titties.
but that yeah, pretty much. Blood, gore, and titties. That's what it is. That's the hype shit. But my mom, she understood because it was a cartoon, or she saw it as a cartoon. She just didn't know that it ran deep like that. But then again, my mom was capping about that too because she had a cassette of Fritz the Cat in her cassette
Oh,
deck.
oh, that's taking it back too.
Yeah, and I was 9 when I saw that. But like, so the being exposed to to that type of genre of cartoon and animation, I was always hip to it. And Dragon Ball came, and that's when everything took off. I started drawing my own characters in that style. And I wouldn't stop drawing. It came to a point where like I almost got expelled from my elementary school because I was drawing on citywide tests.
So you was looking for the bonus points on the regions. With a little, let me give him a little Boma for some bonus points. Some bonus points.
Some Boma points. but yeah, no, like because I couldn't focus on anything else but drawing, so I was just drawing the side. Like, no, you cannot do that. It's on a Scantron sheet. You cannot do this. I'm like, you have any like scrap paper that I can do math with? And I'll be lying because the math would not be mathing, but there would be some pretty slick drawings on there.
And that's funny because I think we all kind of, anybody who ever tried to pick up the pen or the pencil to do, like I used to draw, nowhere near your level because most people like myself kind of hit plateaus in some sort of, and hit marks that you can't get past.
Right.
Like there's just certain things that you can't get past. So before going back on the journey upward, actually, we took a nice climb with the journey upward. What do you, as an artist, and I take it that this is your profession, this is like what you do for a livelihood and a living, and
finally.
But before we go further on that, what is it that you kind of utilize to get yourself out of a rut? Once you hit like you feel like you're like I seen you doing hands.
Yeah.
So I seen you doing warm-ups with hands, but say you just can't get like a fingernail right or a certain curvature in the hand right. Like, what do you do to get past those roadblocks, not roadblocks?
All right. So I start from the basics, right? So instead of drawing hands like I normally would draw hands. I would start off with like the skeletons, the bare bones of it. I would start breaking down the shapes. So it would be like cylinders, squares, rectangles, anything to get my point across, you know. And another thing is that um what I was gonna say, my bad. So that, and I will find a book. I will find a bunch of books on things that I'm lacking in. Um, so say if I'm really, really having a hard time, that is like my final resort of doing anything. Buy a book. Find a book on the thing that you're having a hard time with, and just purchase it when it comes, study it, practice, do warm-ups. And the warm-ups could last from either a half hour to 2 to 3 hours.
Okay, so what do you have? I mean, you're saying they can last anywhere between that time, but like, is there like a preferred like time limit that you would suggest to people? And as we're talking now, I've just pulled up his TikTok so you can see a little bit of what he does on a day-to-day basis, whether it's a warm-up or art that actually goes out to people. But so I mean, like, is there like what do you think? It does it just depend on the artist, or
Yeah, it definitely depends on the artist. It for me, like I said before, from a half hour to 3 hours. That's how long my warm ups stand for, and that's only because I get carried away with a piece, and I'll be like, "Oh, yo, I really like how this looks. I'm just gonna wrap this up, and then I'll ink it, I'll color, and then do the highlights and everything, and then I'm like, damn, all right, well, I wasted some time, but it was well invested. You get better by each time. So usually my warm-ups will go for an hour, but what's recommended is like 30 minutes. You do 5 minute intervals of drawing one thing. Try to draw it as fast as possible within 5 minutes, and then go into the next thing and keep going until you hit 30 minutes, and that's it. Um, but for me, I usually do an hour because I like to give myself like the repetitiveness. I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this for 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10, 10, 10.
gotcha. Now, excuse the wind, people, because we are outside because it's too nice to be just chilling, cooped up in a building while we doing these recordings. Man, it's nice to catch the sun sometimes because this brother seems like he hibernates,
Yeah.
and when he gets his work in, he's seems like he never leaves outdoors.
I don't go outside.
So it's good to help this brother out. You know, get the melanin popping. You know, taking some vitamin D. You know, only the right kind of vitamin D. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, you got to get some sun. I do take nature walks.
that you do right down the block, as I've seen one of the times. Like, oh yeah, you go right to Snug Harbor. You one of those?
Yeah. Nah, I walk right through it. Like
Yeah.
I like walk past. I don't live in it. I just go for the moment, and then I go, like, that's usually my running route too. Like if I'm jogging, which I haven't done that in a while, I was like, the hell with all that.
No, I feel you. It's a good Pokemon route too if you're playing Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
But back to the art. Like, one of the things I asked you pre-show was, as we're watching this video, and I'm gonna change it up and show some other stuff too, is when I see artists doing sketches, like I kind of described to you before. You'll say start right here on like a piece of a lip, and you're sketching it out. You're going over your lines, and then it's off to the hair, and then you're doing the hair, and then it's like, oh damn, this chin, and you go back to the chin, and then the chin goes to, like, you know what, I got to make this ass a little rounder on this picture. Let me get down here, then I'm gonna do a foot. But I see artists do this bounce around that makes it eventually all makes sense. Like, what is that about? Like, give me your professional take on what is that about.
Well, it's simple. You never let them know your next move. But no.
Bars? Did he drop bars, yo?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
No, but honestly, I was telling you earlier, you know how a bartender is serving drinks, and they're serving the drink to one person, but they're screening the area and they can see everything that goes on. That's exactly what that happens to me. So when when I'm drawing one piece in the corner of my eye, I see like something's up, and I'll take a look. I'll stop for a second, and then I'll go over to like the other side of the drawing. Like, yeah, let me just fix that real quick before I forget, because especially when drawing on a tablet. Shout out to Art Attack, Sean Stevens, another great Sean artist out there in the Bronx. He calls it surgery, because once you get to the inking phase and the color phase and you do all the rendering, you have to go back to certain parts to make it make sense to the eye, and then you have to break down certain layers, and then when you do that, when you do that, it gets a little tough to go back, and then because once you fix that part, you have to fix the other layer, and the layer over that, and the layer over that, so it all makes sense.
I get it. So it more has to do, well, first from the sketch stencil portion of it is, like you said, it's observing everything and trying not to forget something at the same time.
Exactly.
But then I get it with the coloring. Yeah, I get it, because as we're watching you color Samus's, or what looks like Samus's visor, it's you got to set the table for everything to fill in properly. Like that's kind of what I would surmise that as is you got to set the table to fill that in properly. I mean, like I said, my touch in this shit has been left behind in high school.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or maybe earlier than that, like, because I can remember my early days of there was a kid named Mario in elementary school who used to be able to it was Mario, it was my man Jesus, and the thing at the time was drawing Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
And everybody had their style of Ninja Turtle, and even me. But then it got to like doing like almost like the Robotech Gundam style stuff, trying to do your own robot. Then I used to try to do my own like almost ninja like characters, obviously with the big bulky muscles and shit like that. But once I started to see that like just stall out in one lane, I was like, yeah, you know what? I do other stuff better than this. So let me move on.
That's the thing. Everybody has their own style. People, artists, they what they do is some are really good at like one thing, but then they can do anything else. But there's like a standout. There's a standout piece. Like there are some people who are really good with mechs, but they draw people and they're just as good, but not as good as their mechs. There are some people who draw males better than females, or cars better than backgrounds, or people, so on and so forth. Let me not run this on, but yeah, there's my whole goal is to be fleshed out with everything. Like, you know, my bread and butter is the pencil, and my bread and butter is the pencil and inks. So with that, I try to really focus on composition and detail, and just shaping out everything so it's nice and fleshed out. Colors is like the last thing I started to learn. Like as you can see on the screen here, like I've been doing it ever since like I was a kid, but digitally is a whole different ball game. Learning what kind of hues to use, what kind of colors, what kind of textures, brushes, and so
and
on
that's
so forth.
kind of what I wanted to ask you next in a brief way. The transition from pen and pencil to digitally to working on the iPad, like how drastic of a change was that for you to get used to put the handle on? And part two on that is the glove you wear. Is that so nothing erases by finger touch?
Yeah. So as long like that glove protects me from like the minor mistakes of the nib. Say like if I was making a stroke, was on the screen, my palm is on the screen, and then the the screen won't read it right and it will jump. So that kind of protects it. Also, the screen gets a little too hot, and then your palms get sweaty. Mount spaghetti. And
I wanted to talk about that with y'all too, because we'll
oh
talk a
yes,
little bit of music in a minute. But yeah, I'm sure y'all heard that whack ass diss track.
I saw your video.
But we'll get to that. We'll get to that later, because the brother is into hip hop. You see some of his videos. He's into a lot of the lo-fi Japanese stuff and all that. But we hip hop heads here. We met through hip hop, but we'll get back to that because you said Mom Spaghetti. So that's what that.
But yeah. So the transition wasn't as rough as I thought it would be. Right. A couple of years back, my fiance she bought her iPad. It was like a couple of years back, and she was like, "Yeah, I have this thing called Procreate. You should try it." And I've already was kind of familiar with using a tablet where it was just a tablet. It was a non-screen, so you had to look at your computer and hold it like this. So
right, like the bamboo tablets.
Yeah,
yeah.
The Wacom bamboo.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that kind of changed the game for me a lot more than what those tablets did. But the transition wasn't that bad. At first, I didn't like it because I didn't know what I was doing, and it was a little frustrating. But I was still intrigued enough to push forward and be like, all right, I'm gonna learn this.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of it has.
Yeah.
I mean, the feel within the stroke itself is
right.
A lot of it, right?
And then to be like a third gen anchor of of famous artists or well-known artists from like the mainstream, it's it was kind of hard for me because I learned how to ink through like people who were inking for Spider-Man and New Mutants. You know what I'm saying? And not vicariously either, hands on.
So your brother?
No, my brother.
Okay,
no.
So explain, because now you're dropping Marvel name. You're dropping Marvel shit.
So
explain, please.
So one of my mentors was an anchor for Marvel and DC. He did a couple of and we met at Comic Book Jones years back.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, word. Shout out to Sacco. That's my big brother.
Okay.
So yeah, he taught me a little bit about inking and like making comics, and then I took that and ran with it and just kind of practiced nonstop for several years. And then my fiance comes through with this tablet. I'm like, what's that? You know what I mean?
Right. Nice. So, all right. So you got pros involved into developing your style and all that, and that's dope. And you utilize what they've taught you over the years to make it your own. So now, do you like to outsource anything, or do you pretty much your one-stop shop? You do everything, or you team more with just your wife?
I team more with just my fiance, my
soon-to-be
wife. But I do outsource with Divided District Studios. That's the name of the company. I do outsource for other titles. Shout out to Kenny Million and Marissa. They're a great team doing Night Shift, and that's coming out very soon. And I gotta give you the invitation. I gotta give all of you guys the invitation for that opening. So
nice. Sounds good.
But yeah, like outsourcing is not a bad thing, but I also rather learn how to do it. So I'm never not hands-on. I don't know what to do creatively. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. And you know what I mean? Because I look at trying to be hands-on with everything in multiple ways. I look at it as A, you can't tell me I can't do something. B, the stingy keeping all the money to myself. I could do every part of it and charge more, or give you a better rate than you would get combining two other entities into one.
Exactly.
But then it to me, it's just that it's really the knowledge, just having the knowledge and you know what, I don't feel like doing this today.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's always good to be able, you know what I'm saying, JG and freaking O. Like sometimes you just want to be like, yo, I don't want to do this today. I could do
Yep.
it, but I could supervise over this just as good.
Exactly. And the best part
Yes,
about
sir.
that, my bad. I was saying
No,
the
go
best part about that is that if you know what you want, you're gonna make it yourself, right? If you want something done right, you have to do it yourself. And I've always been like the type of person like, nah, I got this. And it's not a pride thing. It's to know whether or not I really want this or not. So the best way to know if you really want something in this style is to do it yourself, try to do it, and it doesn't cost anything to learn anything. So
Yeah, absolutely.
when you figure it out, you're like, oh, I don't really like it like this, but you know who came close to that? That person. I'm gonna hire this person to do just that.
Yeah. That sounds good. That sounds good.
So it's more experimental than anything.
True indeed. Now, Jamal, you can take the floor now for a little bit.
no doubt. So just like Dan, back in the day, especially during grammar school, I started off drawing. My brother was an artist, so I was trying to do the stuff he was doing. I was in school drawing Voltron, trying to do my best to draw Panthro from the Thundercats, and stuff like that. And as I got older, that led me more into photography and now filmmaking, 100%. So I have a lot of respect for what illustrators do. Um, one of my questions for you is, what was the first like real comic book that you said that talked to you? That said that tell you, okay, I want to do this.
The first comic book, I think it was Civil War. I've had comics like in the house for since I was a kid, but I didn't really care for westernized comics, Marvel, DC until I read Civil War. And I was like, because I used to think back in the day, like, that sort of thing was just like cookie cutter. And I didn't really know how deep it went.
Yeah.
So I had no clue and I had no knowledge to it. But when I got older, I was just like, all right, I'm gonna try this out. The first book that got me intrigued was Final Crisis, not Final Crisis, Infinite Crisis.
Gotcha.
And then years later, maybe 2 or 3 years later, it was Civil War, and then also around that same time, uh, I picked that book up. Maybe I got the timeline wrong, but I knew that I wanted to be a comic book illustrator for sure. When I first went to my first signing at Comic Book Jones, it was like my very first signing, and actually seeing the work, actually seeing the pages that they've drawn and created, and then you see the book, and then they sign it, and people are lining up. I was like, you can get paid for just doing what you love doing. I used to love doing that as a kid, like making comics. Funny enough, going back to as a kid, Spawn movie came out on VCR or VHS, and then I broke my mom's VCR. I broke my mom's VCR.
You got the porno stuck in there.
Nah, like, and I blame Todd. I blame Todd McFarlane for that. Second time around was the porn.
Just make sure you rewind it back to the exact spot.
Right, and the time marker on the VCR. But go ahead.
But I was pausing, rewinding, fast forwarding to certain parts of. I was literally breaking down each scene of the Spawn movie and redrawing them by frame using those pause stops as a reference. drawing them on loose leaf paper, stapling them, and sending them out and getting paid 50 cents for it.
Sick.
Oh,
Back in the fourth,
That's-
fifth grade.
Sick.
that's crazy. Yeah.
And I would rush to finish up my homework, and then I would just hand them out to my friends, whoever wanted them. My mom was like, "Yes, again, I need crayons." Didn't I just buy you crayons? They're done.
Yeah.
And my mom, my mom, my aunt, my mom, my brother, they all fed the beast. When I needed paper, they threw me paper. When I needed crayons, color pencils, whatever, they threw me that too. And they just kind of fed the beast, and I just couldn't stop for nothing.
That's
That's
always
incredible.
key, to be
Having a
honest.
family feed passion to a youth. That's incredible.
Yeah, that's key in just the want to move forward and advance in what you do, that the people around you actually support what you do.
It was either that or I get into trouble. And I, like, I was teetering into both. Like, I get into a little trouble, get into like scuffles, little fights, got jumped up the block from my house. And come back looking for but let's not get into that type of vibe. It's Sunday. But that's how it was. Like, I just found my thing and just never let go of it.
That's dope. That's dope. You going, Jamal? You got any questions for the brother while we here?
Nah. Right now, I'm just listening. Like, I don't know too much about the artistic side. My whole household is filled with nothing but artists. You know what I'm saying? Except for me, the artist bug skipped over me. So
Oh.
my brother, he's real big on his painting and all that. My nieces,
Straight up,
all
his brother is one of the
artists.
most ridiculous artists I've ever seen. His
Yeah,
brother is talented. Yeah.
and my youngest brother, he's more on the fashion side. But me, and I'm just, I just shit talking right here and there. So
That's art all in itself.
exactly. This when it comes to pen, marker or pencil to paper, it's difficult for me. But no, I'm impressed. I'm listening to your story, and I'm like, wow, it's great, man. I love it.
Thank you so much.
So Sean, you said you got indoctrinated early, and your brother showed you Akira. What was after that? What? Yeah, after Akira, like what
Connections
direction did you go
He
to?
said after. Yeah, he said after Akira. What did you go to after Akira?
All right, so it was Dragon Ball, and then it was Gundam, and then it was anything from the late 90s, early 2000s Toonami block.
Okay.
And then I met my stepfather, and he was really big on comics. So from there, my knowledge on it was like it hurdled, and it was surprising of the titles that I was watching or reading, like how I mentioned Captain Harlock. No one in my age should really know Captain Harlock unless they like watch like documentaries or G-Force or Gigantor or Ultraman. I was really big on Fist in the North Star, Pat LaBarre, Bubblegum Crisis, Dirty Pair, and then even some hentai series. Like he was into all of like anything anime, anything crazy, and he was like, "Yo, have you watched this? Have you read this? You need to read the Jade Man comics." Like the Jade Man comics is pretty much the Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon kung fu flicks in comic form.
Okay. So
Amazing.
you 5 Deadly Venoms in comic book form.
Yeah, pretty much.
Motherfucker. And as big of a fan of 5 Deadly Venoms is, I've never known about that until right this second, 2022. Yeah, I didn't.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
no, I'm talking about Jade Man. I'm talking about the Jade Man comic series.
Jade Man was
dope. Okay.
5 Deadly Venoms. I first saw it in high school. I got a whole story about that. That's not for now, for another day. on how we kind of ran with that. But part of the reason why the number 5 stuck with me, not just because of the star 5, but also the DJ Ace 5, is because I was Toad style.
Wow.
Quick, brief story. I'll give you why the 5 even stuck to in the whole Toad shit. And we all remember, obviously, if you don't remember from the movie, you remember from Wu-Tang. Toad style is immensely strong, nearly immune to any weapon, and if properly used, is almost invincible. So we got finished watching that movie up in we had track practice. Coach was like, just go ahead, you can go in the room. We was done with practice. We asked, yo, can we go watch this movie? I got this movie. My man Jason, shout out to Jason. He's like, yo, can we go watch this movie in one of the rooms? All right, go ahead. In his health room where he had the TV. So we watched 5 Daily Events. We go outside, we see our friends, which was a part of the girls track team. And we just like, yo, I'm this one, I'm this one, I'm this one, I'm this one. On some, you know how you did as a kid, like I'm the blue one, I'm the red, you know. So it was like we decided to like act like we was gonna jump each one of them. So I bear hugged this girl, Lynn. Shout outs to Lynn. I bear hugged her, right? She was trying to get out of it. She's biting me on my forearm, almost like literally like right there. And she's biting down on me while everybody else is fake kung fu moving her, like chopping her and poking at her, shit like that. But she's literally chomping down on me. Like, and I'm like, this shit don't hurt. And it didn't hurt.
Right.
And then I let her go. I just see a little bit of teeth marks on my arm. You looked at her mouth, her gums were bleeding.
Right.
So I was like, this certifies I'm the fucking Toad.
That's what you needed.
The sound effects.
Well, we was doing all of that. Like they was doing they was doing all of that. I was just kind of just being strong man and bear hugging because I was always the bigger dude. I was the shot putter back in school and all that. So yeah, that shit was just my bad for the sidetrack. But that's where you brought me.
It's all good.
Jade
Man Comics was tough, man.
I'm all for
I mean,
all
that
of it.
Bloodsword and
Yep.
Iron Marshall.
I'm sorry.
What was the names you dropped again?
Bloodsword. There's Bloodsword. There's Iron Marshall. Shit. What's the other one? Was it Buddha Palm? Am I thinking?
Buddha Fist, Buddha Palm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was dope. Yeah.
See, I was into more of like Drunken Tai Chi. What else? The Flying Guillotine.
Mm-hmm.
It just opened up, right?
That was a dope ass. I didn't remember the comics, but I remember the movies. Like,
those classics.
Yeah. Like we're kind of we're all in that 40+ range era. That like I'm the youngest here. I can easily, I'm sure I could say that as I'm the youngest, but I was kind of the era of when Toonami started and seen all of what they started to bring. But before that was for us was like my man Lou, shout outs to Lou from the BX. He was just posting up a Ninja Scroll on his account. Like
Ninja Scroll is ridiculous.
Both
like,
movie and series.
Yeah.
So,
but Ninja Scroll, and then we could just sit here and name movies all day, but I'm gonna take it to the video games because you're wearing a shirt of my all-time favorite video, one of my all-time favorite video games. I go back to the quote-unquote animation style of Street Fighter 2.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Samurai Showdown,
Mm-hmm.
The Mortal Kombat, which, Mortal Kombat was real people being animated, like one of the first times ever real humans were being almost kind of like a video game kind of deal.
Pit Fighter?
Well, yeah, Pit Fighter was the guy you could say was the first, which that's another one of those. I remember exactly where the arcade machine used to stand in a store that we used to go play every day before walking to junior high school, but shout out to IS-51. But yeah, I mean, like I'm of the anime, like we said, the Voltron, the GoBots, the Battle of the Planets. But Street Fighter 2, you got the shirt on. Where does your game fandom lie?
All right, so for Street Fighter,
period.
Okay, so started playing video games very young. Always had a system in the house, no matter what. My mom was a gamer. My grandma, my nana was a gamer, and that we all play video games around the house. My mom was playing Mortal Kombat with us. Like, how you played the rotation Winners stay on, losers get off. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Of course,
yeah.
to this day. So my kids go through that right now with Street Fighter 5. They pass the sticks often because I don't let up on them. They got to learn the hard way.
Exactly. So my oldest, so who ranked was my oldest brother being the best, and then it was my mom, and then it was my brother before me, and then it was me, and then it like that's how the ranking went. And then I just started playing a lot more, and now it's just me and my brother. Like nobody wants to play anymore. And now it's just me and my oldest brother playing tens, and we'll play around the tens, best to 10. First to 10 wins, and then that would be that. But Street Fighter was like the most prevalent game for me. I would play Super Mario World and everything, and that's cool. But Street Fighter was the game that changed my life.
I think it changed all our lives, to be honest with you, because that dove me personally down the rabbit hole of just fighting games as a whole. Like, shout out to my brother Lamar and Danny and Leon. Like, we used to be in our boy Leon's tight ass room with his brother's bunk. They had bunk beds, but we was there with the sticks with Street Fighter 2 with Super Nintendo finally released it. And so we used to be in there playing that shit all freaking day, night, you know. And then when we used to go next door to my boy Lamar's house, we were playing. If it wasn't Street Fighter, we was on Tekken, Soul Calibur, fucking Mortal Kombat. What else? Damn it! There was a
Killer Instinct.
Killer Instinct. Yeah, I remember that one. There was another one that was kind of like a Street Fighter where they had like a bison-like character in the game. It was like World Warriors or something like that.
Is that Tekken?
No. It was the SNK.
It
game.
played like Street Fighter, but we was on the
Final Fight.
No, Final Fight was it was
fun.
Beat 'em up.
It was kind of Final Fight. It was the SNK game. It was like the World Heroes.
Yeah, that was
World
it.
Heroes.
Yeah. And then, then also
that first Dynasty Warriors was a fighting game too.
We didn't play that. But
I remember Dynasty Warriors.
Dynasty Warriors, the first one. Yeah.
I gotta say, the worst one though to me, I want to know y'all worst. Virtual Fighter was the absolute fucking worst to me. I fucking hated that game.
I watched when I played that game. It felt like they didn't finish making it. That's the thing. I was like, "Yo, are they done?" This feels like
Teach them about the cigar and the band. You could either stop there or it's gonna start burning the band if you don't peel it off. But yeah, man, Virtual Fighter, worst fucking fighting game ever. My brother loved it because it was the one fighting game he could definitely beat my ass in.
There was a lot of it was very technical. Like I mean, like when it comes to fighting games, like that's all we played in the house, right? And I don't know why fighting games, out of all of it, fighting games we had the most of. And from like Bloody Roar to Battle Arena Toshinden.
Toshiden, Bloody Roar, I remember all of them. Yep.
Yeah, Bushido Blade.
Bushido Blade, we played that too.
Rage.
Primal Raid, yeah.
Primal
we played
Rage.
with the
Damn.
Ninja Turtles, the tournament fighters.
I wouldn't play that.
You never played tournament?
Ninja Turtle tournament fighters?
Yes, sir.
Nah. See, when we did Ninja Turtles, we obviously played the arcade beat 'em up,
right?
Which was dopest.
So what about those Super Smash Brothers games? Y'all was into those?
Yeah, definitely.
See, not me, because we was already older when Super Smash came out.
Yeah.
That was 99. 98, 99, and 64 days.
And GameCube, I think Smash Brothers first came out on.
Super Smash Brothers came out.
Yo, I think there was a Smash Brothers on
99.
93.
I missed it.
Yeah, there's one in 93.
Smash Brothers?
Yeah, I believe so.
That must be the first one.
N64, that was 98, 99.
Yeah, and I definitely wasn't. We was on the 64, but we was on with the 64. We was on the Golden Eye. We was on Star Fox. And
Mercy.
No Mercy.
2000.
No. I hated the WWF games then because they were just absolute clones of WCW versus NWO.
Revenge.
Yes.
Yeah, but That was THQ. I mean,
I remember, but I personally boycotted the WWF games because I mean, I know we all know now the THQ deal and all of that stuff was over and yada yada. But the NWO versus WCW joints was just so much better because it was WCW and they gave you like a fucking 1,000 wrestlers to use in the game. But then but it was a better game. People thought the other ones were better because everybody was WWF at the time.
right.
Everybody was a WWF fan, which I'm not mad at to today. But I will die on the WCW shits was better.
Nah,
in
Revenge
that era.
out of
Oh, he was a WCW guy.
I am a pro wrestling fan, period. But at that time during the Monday Night Wars, I was tuning into Nitro and Thunder more than Raw at the time.
Really?
I would flip flop, but it was because they were giving me more non-cartoon like wrestlers.
right. So back then, yeah,
That's crazy.
it was right around where the Attitude Era started.
I was going to say the Attitude Era was WWE's heyday right there.
I was
It
watching,
was.
but guess who made the Attitude Era?
Yeah. The beginning,
Guess who made the
WCW.
Attitude Era?
WCW.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
The NWO.
The NWO, man.
The NWO.
Like Nitro was just running it for when they first came. It wasn't even close. Right? It was Nitro.
NWO was definitely a reaction to that. That I can attest.
Yeah, it was the NWO was the kickoff, and some people will for the Attitude Era the WWF turned E. It was Stone Cold Steve Austin and his what's name? King of the Ring speech. His King of the Ring promo kind of turned it around there, but it was Scott Hall and Kevin, rest in peace to Scott Hall, but it was Scott
Hollywood
who turned it around. And another is Eric Bischoff getting Hulk Hogan to commit to a heel turn.
Which was probably one of the
that was the coup right there, boy.
That was probably the best decision. Besides saying I don't want my daughters dating no niggas, that was definitely
that's when it all went downhill.
But the NWO clearly was the best decision of his career. Besides that snafu, if you want to call it that. That was a turning point for everybody to hate him too, but we're not on that right now. So yeah, I mean, we're gonna I want to get to the rap shit, but we're gonna get into some fun real quick right now, because you say you're not really the biggest sports head, but we at the Star 5 has always been based on sports. So you're taking a starting 5 basketball team. Think about sizes of positions and all of that. 5 characters from the anime world that you would put in each position. So from point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center, and a coach.
All right, so,
out of the anime world to build your basketball team. Who would you put on your team?
Okay, so all right, if I had to, all right, so I'm not mentioning any character from Slam Dunk, and that's a basketball anime manga. But all right, so I would first and foremost, I would pick anyone. All right, and I won't even choose Goku because that's too easy. All right, Luffy for the reach.
Okay, so it's just because he's stretchy ass arms.
Yep. And then for coach, I would definitely have Kakashi from Naruto. Okay, he has the Sharingan, and then that's where I'll use Sasuke, and then I'll also do Naruto as well.
Okay, so the 3 people that you put in positions, what positions they playing? It sounds like Naruto probably will be run the point or the 2. Be the shooting guard.
Yeah, no, I'll have him be shooting guard. But like on mostly like on to be used for defense, I would use Sasuke because of his Sharingan, and he can kind of anticipate read moves
Okay, so
for steals.
that sounds like a good small forward. Would y'all say that having that kind of anticipation and then move set would be great for small forward or power forward, y'all?
I'm gonna say small forward then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're relatively short anyway. They're like maybe a little shorter than we are. So
Okay.
yeah.
So now we got power forward and center left. So think your traditional centers like a Shaq, Patrick Ewing, Olajuwon, tall 7-footers, big motherfuckers.
All right. So I would have to go with Kuwabara from Yu Yu Hakusho.
Okay.
He's pretty tall. He's in the 6 rank. He's like yeah, he has to be like close to 6 foot. Plus he looked like Blake Griffin.
Okay, so that's the power forward. So we got a team full of shorties so far, but with superpowers that'll probably beat like an NBA team just because of superpowers alone. But we gotta round off the center. Like who's the big man that you're taking in this?
Okay.
And you can't take the what's names from Attack on Titan.
Okay.
You can't take no Titans because that's fucking cheating. You ain't even gonna get a game off. You'll be that's lunch all day.
Yeah.
Big but fast, because basketball is a moving game, right? So like pretty much you gotta keep up the stamina. I would say Chad from Bleach.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds all right. Sounds all right. You went all over the universe of
Yeah, like I
anime.
try to keep it. I try to keep it shonen.
Okay. Okay. Good old shonen jump stuff. But now, I mean, all right. When they're transitioning up and down the court, I don't want to see this though. I don't want to see the run down with the. You got to play defense running down the court. You can't fucking have your hands behind your back running straight forward.
But they're gonna.
It might work on a fast break.
They're gonna, once they go into the break, they're definitely gonna cross over. The pass and the substitution jutsus are gonna be like on a high level. Once they hit that fast break, they looking for me.
Yeah, I don't know. But we heard it all.
But once they hit that fast break, the substitution jutsus are gonna be at a all-time high. Passing the ball from the left and the right side of the court, and then going over, it's going to be confusing. And then with Naruto, he has also the clone jutsu. So,
so too many men on the court, mad penalties.
So he can't even use that unless people don't see it. You know what I mean? Like,
I guess play in a blindfolded arena.
Anime, so
yeah. This is true.
And with Chad, he's going to, like, he's going to be the strongbow. He's gonna push you to the side. He's gonna throw in those fouls. He's gonna block your path. He's gonna hit those rebounds, and he doesn't even have to shoot.
I get it. So you got old Dennis Rodman at center, but yeah. I get it. If I wanted to build a team, I definitely could build one better than that, because I'm taking One Punch Man at point guard. Oh, no, I'm taking Saitama at point guard because
okay, go ahead.
Because once you just piss him off. I mean, he's a little goofy or whatever, but once you piss him off, it's it's a wrap. Maybe the whole team dies with, again, one punch. Foul shots might, he might make them, he might not. But I just want him on my team. Damn it. I'll take Genesis. What was it? Genesis from One Punch Man? What's his name? Not Genesis.
Genesis.
It's not Genesis. It's something else.
Genos.
Yeah, Genos. I'll take Genos at the 2 because that motherfucker's a savage. Who would y'all round off at the 3, 4, and the 5? I'll let y'all have the other 2.
For my 3, I'm going with I'm treating my 3 the way I treat my 2. So I'm gonna go with Roy Mustang from Full Metal Alchemist because
Wow.
he's got that Kobe undefeatable drive to him. Definitely. So that's my dude at the 3. At the 4, that's a great question.
I'll be honest with you, at the 4, I was thinking about taking Baki at the 4 because
Oh
he's
yeah, I
strong
like
as hell.
Oh,
yeah, I don't want and I don't want Chad to think he could body and foul Baki because it's a wrap.
you don't think Chad can body Baki?
I'm not familiar with Chad. I'm more familiar with Baki.
Nah, Chad is a whole different beast.
All right. Well, there's a little challenge there. We could rotate out 4 and 5.
I mean, I love Baki, especially Baki the Grappler, not the new Baki. I'm talking about the original OG Baki, where he was fighting against dudes who was pulling the senses out of your face.
And that's way before mine. I forgot which one my daughter was putting me on to.
That probably Baki Hama, but no, that Baki came out.
Yeah, not too long ago.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Because my brother put my daughter on, and then she had me watching it because she was like deep diving into that shit, and I got all into it because it was just a big fighting tournament. That shit was fire. But we need a 5, y'all. Who you got, Jamal? Or who you got at the
Baki, I would say what's old boy from Tokyo Ghoul? Ken Kaneki?
Yep, Kaneki.
Tokyo Ghoul, yeah. From Tokyo Ghoul is probably my 5, since we can't use no Titans. So
yeah, because it's a Titan. That's just a cheat. Like this, you're bigger than the court. There's no up and down. Like it'll look like a basketball game with a Titan would look like trying to fight. Who was the final boss in Capcom versus Marvel versus
Marvel?
Capcom?
One.
Yeah,
Where there was Apocalypse, behind the fucking the whole screen moving up and down. Like
that was Marvel's Capcom 1. That was Onslaught.
Oh yeah, Onslaught was 1, but I think Apocalypse was 2.
Mm-hmm. For I think that was Children of the Atom or Marvel Superheroes versus or X-Men versus Street Fighter.
Yeah, I remember that one too.
I'm trying to
X-Men versus Street Fighter.
I'm just looking at like you know, again, a Titan would just be literally, like you said, one of the final bosses in one of them fighting games that is just like the whole back screen, and there ain't shit you could do about it. It's like,
I have a question though. What would we're talking about since we dancing between in and out of Capcom. What would be your favorite game out of that line? I'm talking about after Street Fighter.
Out of Capcom,
out of Marvel versus Capcom, X-Men versus Street Fighter.
Or just any Capcom game, period, like from that company.
Besides Street Fighter.
Okay.
After Street Fighter, what was your favorite?
My absolute favorite was the first one I've ever owned, even though I played Street Fighter versus X-Men or X-Men versus Street Fighter, was Marvel's Capcom 1. That is my all-time favorite. When I got the Dreamcast for Christmas, I received that as well. Shout out to my older brother once again. Eating the beast, and like just how everything was. So my team was definitely very cheesy but yet technical. Ryu and Mega Man, and then with that Ryu, you got Ken, Akuma, and and Shawn with the fighting code. And then with Mega Man, of course, like he was super anti-air, very defensive, but his offense was pretty mid at the time. But even though it was mid, it was a very good balance for the two.
Yeah, I figured on that. Like mine would definitely be either the Marvel versus Capcom 1 or 2, and I was a cheese kind of person also who it was Ryu, Ken, or Akuma, or I would throw in Ryu, Ken, Dan, or Ryu Akuma Dan. Like I fucked with Dan just because of the name. I still fuck with Dan in Street Fighter 5 just because of the name and his.
You on your own with that one.
Yeah, I mean
nobody fuck with Dan.
Nah, nobody did because his fireball was just that little like
from
Wish. But who y'all got? You put out the question, Jamal. What you got?
I'm gonna go last. I'll let y'all go. I got a thing on it still.
Yeah,
I mean, I was a big Marvel vs. Capcom guy, and I mean, X-Men vs. Street Fighter was fun, but yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom, you know. And we talk about cheese. I mean, wasn't nobody cheesing Iron Man? Iron Man and Wolverine.
yeah, Wolverine. Berserker Barrage.
Oh,
Yeah, look at Mirage. Yeah.
that combo. That was my favorite. The down kick forward launch, and then the air combo to finish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Cheese.
Marvel vs. Capcom was dope. I mean, I was still, the original Street Fighter 2 was still my joint, but I was unconventional, so I fought with Guile, and when you were able to fight with Sagat, that was my dude. And mainly Guile and Sagat. I tell you who I hated to fight was dudes who mastered fighting with Dawson were a fucking pain in the ass to play against.
Man, listen, another one of those moments in time where I can remember exactly where the fuck we were, and my man Archer was just cheese in the corner. Just jump, punch. Like, it's such a pain in the fucking ass.
Well, shit, don't forget Blanca and E Honda. When it came to being cheesy, like those, Blanca was the straight cheese master.
He was to a point, but if you knew how to use E Honda, you were nice.
Yeah.
Like there was no cheese with E Honda. Like you were nice, unless all you knew how to do was the 100 hand slap.
100 hand slap, yeah.
that was the thing for me with E Honda, like you or any charge character to be exact, but Guile was my second, Ryu was my first. With Guile, you had to play him a certain way. You had to learn how to navigate the jump kick, bottom low kick, and then you got to hold that sonic boom up close, hit him with the flash kick. So it's always great. And then if that don't work out after the flash kick, go back to like the crouch and defense with the double sweep.
That was it.
Yeah.
And especially Street Fighter 2. Like, see, I love this shit so much because you're just making me recall so many things from back in the day. Like, people that I knew that we played against a lot were fucking nasty with Guile. Or in our era when we didn't know it was pronounced Guile, we were calling him Gully.
Yeah.
but
he was Gully.
Yeah, but if you were nice with him, you know what I'm saying? Like if you knew how to, there's my wife and my one of my daughters.
Hello.
But if you were nice with them, it's like, yeah, you was just you played the back of the control like that, and you were ready at all times with that damn. You couldn't jump, or you was getting flash kicked in the face, and then Sonic boomed on the fall, or getting grabbed in the middle of the air, suplex, bong bong, like it was ridiculous. But I gotta ask y'all because I'm remembering shout outs to the Dixon, Joe and Dave Dixon. Once again, I remember exactly where that cabinet was. It used to be at the Emporium on Portland Avenue in one of the spot behind the store, which the store used to be bigger than what it is now. The guy who owns the shit remembered me from back in the day when coming around there. And I was like, yeah, one time you yelled at me because I lost playing Street Fighter and I punched your wall and it shook everything in the store. It shook everything on the wall at the back of the store.
Wow.
But it was in that spot that I witnessed the handcuff glitch. Have y'all ever seen the handcuff glitch in Street Fighter 2?
Yeah, there was a where
it was only Guile versus Chun-Li.
Yeah.
And there was some shit you did that it froze the entire game.
And he was stuck in midair.
No, it was Chun-Li would be stuck with her hands behind her back like this, like literally in like a pose position like this.
Okay, I didn't see
and
that one.
it would lock the game up. You would have to pull the power cord and restart the whole cabinet.
Oh, but
it was I witnessed this shit. It was some shit that was like rumored, but then I seen my man do it, and it was the one time in life I seen it happen.
There was
And we stood there for 20 minutes waiting to see something happen. Nope, you had to turn the whole shit off.
Yeah.
And if you had a high score on that bitch, say bye-bye to your high score.
Wow.
But look it up on YouTube though. You know what? While y'all talk, I'm gonna look it up and I'll pull it up.
Yo, that's crazy.
there was other glitches as well. There was this one where you get caught in midair. I forgot with who. I think it was Guile, or it was either Ryu or Ken. But you're stuck in midair, and you're just it's something that you had to do, and it only happened in Brazil.
Mm.
Yeah, I never heard of that one.
You could look up like Street Fighter 2 cabinet glitches.
Yeah. Let me check that out right now.
Yeah, here we go. I found it. So we're gonna play this off of this YouTube page that I think is rolling right now, but no big deal. For anybody on the podcast listening, I'll tell you the page that you can go find it on, the handcuff glitch. Let me turn the sound off so we don't get no copyright strikes. Oh, it happened with but there it is. There's one of them. And it's on this page called Error 1.
Oh,
That was one of the handcuff glitches. Like I said, the way I remember was
that one.
Oh, this shit.
That shit.
oh.
I didn't know it was the handcuff.
Well, no, that's not the handcuff one. The handcuff one was the one that I explained, but this is just some of the bullshit glitches that I've never seen these until obviously watching them on YouTube. But the handcuff one I witnessed like straight up and down. Like I witnessed that shit in the fucking arcade spot. Like I still can't believe I seen that shit, man. But great times back in the day, man. With fucking video games and shit. Like it's the one thing I miss about getting up with my peoples and shit like that. Like used to,
You ever played a rainbow cabinet?
No, what the hell is it?
Rainbow cabinet is pretty much like a bootleg version of Street Fighter 2. It is Street Fighter 2, but there was certain there were different. It was like a different version. So like Guile's Sonic Boom was multiple Sonic Booms, or like Ryu's Hadouken is homing now. It's not just straight through. It's actually waving up and down.
Oh, I think I did play one with that. I didn't know that's what it was called at the time, but I did play one where Ryu and Ken both had like the double fireballs that crisscross like this, and I played that one. And then I played the one, I'm sure we all might have seen this cabinet before, the one where you can pretty much make a wall of Hadoukens all the way up. And you jump up.
Yeah, I seen that with Ken. Yeah.
You just keep rolling through the screen.
Yeah.
And I've seen people lose to making that wall and still get beat. Like it's ridiculous, but man, reminiscing on too much good shit.
The rainbow cabinets are a reason why hyper fighting in Street Fighter 2 turbos.
Well, yeah. I remember because it was when Champion Edition came out. Then it was like, okay, they finally expanded. And then it was just like people wanted something different too. And then the turbo was just like crackhead speed shit, and it got annoying. Especially we used to, when we played on the Super Nintendo, turn that shit all the way up to 10, and it was like, all right, ADHD activated. You know what I'm saying? But
vibes.
Too much we can keep talking video games all fucking day, if you ask me, because
here's some wild shit though. Remember the intro to Street Fighter 2? Where it shows the crowd and the two dudes fighting.
Mm-hmm. And the black dude is the one getting uppercut.
And I was like, yo, I always wondered if those were ever going to be characters. That scene had nothing to do with the game. Completely.
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. I was like,
yo, Jamal, you want to talk about shit that had nothing to do with the game. Yo, remember the car? Like, what was the car about?
Oh, that was
the car. Yeah.
Yeah, beating the car up, and then the barrel.
Beat the car up, with a certain time.
No, and then the barrels too. The barrel drop.
Barrels,
the other one.
The barrels. Yeah. Wow.
They have that in Street Fighter 5 actually. Fucking the barrel drop shit. It's not as easy. It's not as easy as it used to be. Where you could just stand there and just freaking uppercut, uppercut, uppercut. Oh, high
Yeah,
kick.
they started. They brought that back for Street Fighter 4 as well with the car.
Yeah, that's right. The car was in 4. The barrels are in 5.
Mm.
That's the because they didn't bring the car back, but it
you
was an
ready for
old ass
6?
Lexus. Oh yeah.
Oh, like all right. So this morning I was drawing one of the new characters for 6, Kimberly, in which finally,
They got a black woman.
yeah, I was getting a little scared there, and Elena, she's not necessarily black. She's like dark skinned, but she ain't black. So but now you have like this is confirmed black character. Other than Balrog.
I was gonna say we always had Balrog, even though the Japanese did us dirty with that fucked up hairline.
That whack cut.
Yeah, but then they did fix it with DJ.
Yeah,
I mean they did at least fix it with DJ, like. But them fucking nasty V cuts in the front,
like a cracked eggshell.
The story with Bison,
Yep.
Balrog, Vega
Mm-hmm.
was a whole different mess.
Yeah,
because they were afraid that they was gonna get
sued by Mike Tyson
mhm.
because Balrog was supposed to be M. Bison. Balrog was originally M. Bison,
and Vega.
and Balrog was who M. Bison is.
Yep.
That's who it originally was, but because the game came out at the time of the Dynamite Kid Tyson era when he was dropping everybody in 30 seconds or less, they had to change it because they didn't want to get sued, and thankfully they did because it works out. It works, but thankfully they did change it. But yeah, that's just a little piece of Street Fighter history for y'all who didn't know already. But we close to wrapping up, and I got to tap into your musical brain real quick.
Yes.
Yeah. This fucking game, and I'm not playing the song. It's not worth playing. But did y'all hear Game's diss track to Eminem, the Black Slim Shady track? Yes, no. Did y'all hear it?
I'll be honest with you. Once I heard it was 10 minutes, it completely turned me off. I'm like, oh, man, I can't, I just can't, man. So I'm gonna listen to it after the show.
Jamal.
Unfortunately, I did not listen to it. I seen when it came through. I just didn't have the time to give it no oxygen, man.
and y'all know how I am about the game and his music. But I listen to it by way of my friend Lou's show. Shout outs again, Lou from the BX, the Everything Podcast. He did a live reaction on his podcast to it, and before I actually show my feelings towards it, what was your feelings towards this shit?
So altogether, the album is just 2 hours long, right? So first off, let me give you a little background. Fridays is my favorite days because I love listening to new music, and so any anticipated album that comes out, I'm down for it. Like at 12 midnight, listening to it before I put in my 2 cents, and I'll go through it constantly with my boy Kenny, and we'll share music. But with the Game's new album, it was 2 hours long, 30 tracks, over 30 features, and I think I had enough by the time I got to the 5th track. The single, all right.
Wow.
But and the funny thing is, I like the Game. I like his music, but as like albums and productions and stuff like that, projects such and such, I can't hang. There's only certain songs that I like from him on, and some of them are features and some of them are singles, but I can't have it all in one take. That's like too much. But but that's just me, and that's just my palate, right? So with this Black Slim Shady, 10 minutes long, you've like, I can't handle C4. My mind goes all over the place. You see how you hear how I talk. And this is not
I'll
gonna
send
work for me.
I'll send you his TikTok later about the C4 Jamal, because
All right.
it was funny. I hit him while he was on his live today, and I was like, I literally was going to the store to get one, and I had one. And the C4 energy drink?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
In
what
which-
you're talking about.
In which I was reminded by like 18,000 people that it's not an energy drink. It's a
It's a pre-workout.
Yeah, it's a pre-workout. I'm like, thanks for reminding me. That is the worst sentence you could tell me right now today. That like I know, like you didn't. It was like, don't you read the can? Didn't you read the comments? Somebody already told me. But yeah, Black Slim Shady, 10 minutes long, had an intro that I didn't care for. It sounded like he was just trying to like I guess it sounded more of a head nod within the first two verses instead of just going for gusto. This could have been solved in like 3-4 minutes if that was the case. But you had a lot to say. 10 minutes, it just kind of equivalated half the 20 years that you had a grievance with Interscope, Shady Aftermath, and G Unit. That's what it sounded to me within the last verse. I think that you could have just took all the fluff away and just kept that last verse. It would have been more solid. But boy, he did try.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it. Is you tried. You give him a little, give him a little red star to represent, who he represented for his life, and it's like you tried, son.
If he didn't respond, if he doesn't respond by Monday, I would laugh.
No, if Eminem does, see now, if Eminem does not respond to this track, Eminem won. If Eminem responds to this track, Eminem won. Game evoked the spirit of Eminem back when he first came out.
Yeah.
So he literally went back 20, 25 years to rap like that Eminem, the Slim Shady Eminem back then, or at least try to. Right. This is from my point of view on this whole track. Like, he tried hard to do, but what? Let me clarify to give it some. I'll shoot this record some bail. He was rapping. It wasn't my kind of raps. It wasn't good, but he was rapping. Yeah. He was taking Eminem like jabs back in '96. Eminem, like like this whole record was like the first Slim Shady album type of rapping, and he had some joints in there here and there, little bars here and there, but overall though, it was one big swing and a miss. But this was my true reaction. This here was my true reaction to this fucking song.
Yo, TikTok. Yo,
I don't know if y'all can hear.
I just heard the game's diss track, yo, on Eminem. I gotta let y'all know what this diss track really, really is, man. I really gotta let y'all know. Yo, TikTok. Yo.
I couldn't have said it any better. If you saw what was displayed on that video, that was Game's diss track. If that was an attempt to be a diss track, I'm telling y'all, you know what? Go boost his algorithm. Go boost his spins. Give it a listen. I didn't because somebody else did it for me. So I was able to sit and listen. I listened to a podcast that played the joint, and that's how I heard it. And I was like, yeah, Game is who I think he is.
But quick question. Between what you heard from Game and then MGK's this, which one stood better?
I would say MGK's, and I barely heard his.
MGK's this was all right, actually.
It was it was I compared to nah, G. This is nah, son. This gets you the Ed Lover cardboard. Come on, son. Like that. Nah. I mean, why? Like it was what?
Brought up old shit.
Brought up old shit. Eminem probably ain't even thinking about his ass. So like yo, the way Eminem can win this battle is by not giving this no life.
I can see that.
Don't. But if he wants to be honest with y'all, y'all got to go listen to it. But to be honest with y'all, he can kill this whole track in like a Jay-Z, Biggie type of level of diss. You can give this whole track 4 to 6 bars, maybe 8 bars, and end his whole shit. His whole 10-minute video of yeah. And I'm talking about that as because of the caliber MC that Eminem is, that we know he is. Yeah, he might not make danceable tracks. We know that. He doesn't make music, let's keep it real. He doesn't make music that has like true staying power. You know, like we don't go, not many people really go back and say, yo, I gotta go listen to this. Like that's like a feeling of once in a while, you know what, I haven't heard this in a long time. Let me listen to it for, you know. But
nobody plays this music at parties.
Right. No. But and you know what? The same thing can be said for Black Thought too, as far as nobody plays his music for parties. But when you think about, to me, when I think Black Thought, I can think Eminem, because those are two MCs that literally you don't really want to rap in front of or behind in some cases. It's always been those two, with the exception of a few others. You know what I'm saying?
They're rap gods, man. They're rap gods.
They some people, and I get it. Some people, Eminem just ain't their thing no matter what.
Yeah.
Some people, it's just fuck that white dude, straight up and down. You know, some people get that kind of thing. But realistically, when it just raps, and then too, people will just talk that shit about how his flows and stuff. Like, listen to Kendrick Lamar and listen to Eminem as they progressed over the years. Like, they're more using their flows in vocal cords as instruments more than just the raps. You know, like they're hitting flows that like the common MC ain't gonna dare to touch, because they can't make that shit make sense.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
but you know what? Let me give Game some credit.
I heard the album is all right. I refuse to listen to Game.
Okay.
I heard it's all right.
Home Invasion is my favorite out of, like, I think he killed it on that one. But if he would have just took that energy that he put in for Home Invasion into the Black Slim Shady, and not call it the Black Slim Shady, if he was going to diss M, I think that would have been more decent. Like, there, and it happens for a lot of rappers where the title of the song doesn't match the energy of the title, and then the next track would be the song that was like, why?
That's a huge problem just with me as a whole. Like, I mean, I love Griselda. I love everybody over there. You know what I'm saying? But like, you go down the titles of some of their tracks, and the names have nothing to do with the songs. That's just something that personally bothers me at times. Like the song, but the difference is their songs are actually good.
Yeah.
It's just the titles of the songs compared to.
Most of those wrestling name songs, like
yeah.
You don't like that?
No,
I love that.
No. I love the songs. I love that he's giving credit and props to, like, you know, like he got Scott Hall. He's got the fucking. I'm sure he got Kevin Nash. He's got He's got mad joints named after wrestlers, but there are nothing. It's literally like it's nothing about the wrestler. Period.
Right.
Rick Martel. I saw that. I was like, Rick Martel.
Right. Wow. And it's like I said, I want to be clear. I like the songs.
Yeah.
But to me, things should make sense.
Yeah.
And you're gonna name the song after something that you're not even rapping about in the song.
Yeah.
The song is dope.
Song is dope.
Name it that. It's like, why is this dope? But why did you name it that? I get it. You want to attract people. Holy shit, yo! I haven't heard of the model Rick Martel's name in a minute. He ain't talking about Rick Martel. Like,
nah. Yeah.
See, I guess when it comes to wrestling bars, two comes up instantly for me, which is Action Bronson and Mega Ran.
Shout outs to Mega Ran. I got
Yo.
that's another dude. I don't know him, but I could have probably met that dude years ago through the homie Jason.
Right.
Yeah,
'Cause-
that dude is nice.
Word. The Book of Boba freestyle this year, amazing. And also the Goodbye to the Bad Guy, really good. Love it. And he gave me Ricky Rose vibes, so I was definitely down for that.
But Action Bronson, no, I mean he always drops wrestling. At least he drops the bars about the wrestlers and the shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Always, all the time. And no, he doesn't sound like Ghostface. You assholes.
That's his voice.
I remember that whole thing. Yeah.
That was crazy.
Word, man. But I think we ran the gamut today.
Yep.
I think we went through a little bit of everything. Sean, you always welcome back.
Oh, yo,
like I said, you welcome back to kick it whenever.
So much.
You know what I'm saying? But we're right around the fucking corner, y'all.
Yo.
Right around the corner.
Definitely having a cookout. Definitely bring the cigars. I'll bring the drinks. We have a great time.
Something. But because you're the main guest here, this is your show today. You get the first round of the final shout outs as we close it out.
All right. So shout out to DDS Divide District Studios. Shout out to my fiance / wife, or about to be future wife, Jody DeReal.
Welcome to the dark side once you get there.
Shout out to the VHS crew, Lednito, Sean Stevens, Art Attack, Kenny, Cash Money Kenny. Who else? Shout out to followers and the other crew from TikTok. You know who you are. Thank you so much. Finally went viral off of that C4 video. Shout out to the down south musclehead juicers who had to remind me. Yeah, shout out to Starting Five. Shout out to HNIC J1. Yeah, I think I covered it. Shout out to moms. Shout out to pops. They made me.
I mean, Big O.
Oh man, as always, man. Shout out to Lawrence and shout out to Parkchester. Shout out to the viewers, man, that have been coming back. Watching these podcasts, man. We appreciate it. That's pretty much it, man. Mm-hmm.
That's what's up. Yo, first of all, shout out Sean. Appreciate you being on the show, brother. Keep doing your thing.
Thank you.
Big fan. Like the mayor said, you're welcome here anytime. Come often. Come on the show often.
Yep.
Shout out to the mayor, of course. Shout out to Big O, Littleton's finest. Shout out to all listeners and everybody there. Peace to Ishtar. Peace to Disabled Planets.
Those are fucking well, I'll tell you about that when we're done. But those are just mishaps that just get shouted out every week. Just like everybody else who supports us. Big ups to all of y'all. Big ups to TJ and JP who couldn't make it this week. Big ups to you brothers here on the show. Sean, once again, thank you for coming through.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? Now you know exactly where I live, so no more we here now, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if you drink, but I have extras of these fucking bottles of champagne that I got, some Brazilian shit, so you could take that with you.
Thank you.
I got extras.
I appreciate you.
Yep. But yeah, man, that's that. Just lay it on top of there. It's fine. Okay. We got gifts. Gifts. No donations. Gifts.
Copy of,
shit.
Home and Worlds Beyond issue 1.
Oh, okay. Gotta let my daughter get a copy of it. And this is all
Yep.
Oh no, I see the whole team. MacArthur, Leon, Cole.
Yep, that's the first one, and then the second one is all me.
Okay. Dope. I'm definitely gonna dive into that and give that to my daughter to read into also. And now we gotta actually just throw it in if the marker worked. Well, you know what? While he's doing that, we're gonna say peace. We'll see y'all on the next episode.
Right.